Yo guys, it's Slyro. You already know that today I'm bringing you my team analysis for week 5 of the Pokemon Premier League. Now, before we get into the team that I'm bringing this week, which is going to be against NecroStevo and the Eterna City Enders, I do need to go over a couple things before we start. Now, the past week was week 4, and as you know, every 2 weeks we do a transfer window. So, I do want to bring up my new team because I did decide to make a transfer. And actually new this year is you can actually once per season do 2 transfers. Usually you can only pick up 1 Pokemon, but once per season for your transfer you can pick up 2 Pokemon. So I won't be able to do this again, but I don't really plan on it. But the transfer that I did is I dropped Typhlosion and Sawsbuck. I know it's so sad to lose Sawsbuck, for Tangela and Simisear. Very I want to say controversial transfer. I've gotten, you know, a little bit of criticism, a little bit of support, whatever. It's all good. I'm happy with the move. Typhlosion is really restrictive, and it does one thing and one thing only, and it's very easily stopped, and just wasn't really worth the money for me. The main goal of this transfer was to get Tangela, but I could not just drop Typhlosion and get Tangela. I mean, I could, but then I wouldn't have a fire type, and then I would have a Tangela and a Sawsbuck, which wouldn't really make sense. So I decided to also drop Sawsbuck, so that way I didn't have 2 grass types, because I think Tangela can do better. Sawsbuck, in any match that I brought, it was probably going to be brought defensive, and if I'm going to go defensive with it, why not just actually get a defensive grass type, like one that's like built to be defensive. So Tangela, I'm really happy about getting Tangela. Simisear was just because I needed to get a fire type that was 3 million or less. It was kind of a toss-up between Simisear or Magmar, and I just have more experience with Simisear. I use it a lot in PU whenever I do play PU, and its move coverage is amazing, and I will get a little bit of surprise factor for whenever I do decide to bring it. As you can see on the team, I am not bringing either of the 2 transfers for this week, because it's more of plans for the future. Didn't necessarily need them this week, but there are weeks that I do plan on bringing both of the new transfers. So go ahead, let me know what you think about those transfers in the comments. There's been a lot of people have had a lot of opinions on it, so very excited to how it'll play out. I'm here for fun, and we are gonna have some fun. Now, next thing I want to go over is where we are at on the league table. I'm going to actually go ahead and click over to the league table, and as you can see, with our win last week, we are in 7th place. So we have 2 wins, 2 losses, with a -2 differential. That puts us in 7th place, 1 place ahead of NecroStevo and the Eterna City Enders. So this battle is important, because if we lose, then we're obviously going to go down in the table, and if we win, we can stay at least 7th, if not higher, if people like Kino or Alex lose, because we have the same amount of points as them, same amount of wins. So if they lose, then we win, then we automatically move above. We could be in 5th place. There's actually even a way we might even be able to jump RTK. We could almost move up to 4th place this week if we get a big victory. So I'm really hoping that we can get a big victory, and I think I have the team to do it. I think I have the team matchup to do it. So that's where we are in the league table. We are looking okay, but we definitely need a big win. This -2 differential is not necessarily the best. Could be worse. Both of our wins have only been 1-0s. I need to get a bigger win if I want to chase down, you know, people like Shroomy, Shoddy, Ethan, or RTK. So let's go ahead and get into said team that I am bringing against NecroStevo. So let's just go over his team really quick. It'll pop up on your screen. It is Megalopunny, Tyranitar, Cofagrigus, Florges, Toxicroak, Reuniclus, Noivern, Leavanny, Kabutops, and Stoutland. Thankfully he did not make any transfers, because I did start preparing for his team before the transfer window, but he didn't make any transfers, so we are all good. I'm a little nervous because I made this team in about 20 to 30 minutes, because Necro's team is very straightforward. You know what both spawns are going to do, and you just need to find a way to stop it. And that's what I tried to do. Also, another big thing about Necro's team is that he has all of his speed tiers covers. He has, I believe, the 3rd fastest mon that was drafted in Mega Lopunny. I think the 2nd one that's still around since RKK dropped Electrode. So I think Mega Aerodactyl is the only thing that's faster that has been drafted. Mega Lopunny, 2nd fastest mon in the league. As well as he has Noivern, even Sandrush Satlin could be ridiculously fast. But then he also has things like Hoffagrigus and Reuniclus. Reuniclus is the best Trick Room mon in existence, and Hoffagrigus isn't terrible at it either. And then he has Sticky Web support from Leavanny to help his like middle of the pack speed Pokemon just work a lot better. But yeah, so with that being said, I couldn't really rely on a lot of speed control because he has every single tier of speed just covered, and it's ridiculous. I hate it, but we're gonna see what we can do to work around this. He does have some, I don't know, I feel like his team isn't that hard to break through. It's harder to stop, but I think we'll do our best. The one mon that I was looking through and realized that there is just no way that I can take hits from it is Reuniclus. Reuniclus, if it gets set in and it starts setting up Trick Room, Calm Mind, Recover, things like that, it will outstall and it will destroy every single one of my team like members. Like, it will destroy literally everything. With that in mind, I brought a team where every single Pokemon on my team A, outspeeds, and B, 2-hit KOs Reuniclus. So it does not get a single free switch in at all. So, with that in mind, that is how I planned on stopping Reuniclus, because it's not going to be able to switch into anything, because then I can immediately, you know, take it out with a number of moves. Yeah, I just need to prevent free switches into Reuniclus as much as I can. Everything on my team can 2-hit KO it, so yeah, so it will be fine. So, let's go ahead and stop talking about his team and start talking about my team. The first mon that I'm bringing is my dedicated lead, that's why I'm starting it, is Lasagna the Crustle, making its season debut, as we got it from Evelyn and the Herdier Bremen. Crustle did not make an appearance for her team and did not make an appearance for us the last 2 weeks. So it's finally getting its chance now. It's being brought with max HP, max defense. It is Impish Nature with 4 in attack, Rocky Helmet, Spike Stealth Rock, X Scissor, Earthquake. The only way of hazard removal that Necro has is Kabutops, which he hasn't really even brought. If it has been brought, it's been brought maybe like once. Kabutops, you know, to be fair, does enough, I think, to my team, or can be enough of a surprise factor that he could bring it. But even still, I would not mind having Crustle here. Mega Lopunny is very obvious lead. I don't have, I mean, it wouldn't matter because Scrappy, like, I don't have a Ghost type, I don't have anything with, like, Inner Focus, like, I don't have a way to stop him from getting a free Mega off and faking out. Crustle basically stops any sort of Mega Lopunny shenanigans. With max HP, max defense, I think I can actually take 2 high jump kicks, as funny as that is. I think if he gets 2 high rolls, it does 2-hit KO me, and not that I would want to take more than 1, but I believe that I can if I did the calc right. So there's that. This basically is just to kind of punish him for going for fake out, and if he tries to set up like a substitute and like power punch, like everything that he does, every single move that Lopunny gets basically is a contact move, which means it's going to be taking Rocky Helmet damage, and Crustle just doesn't really care. It can take hits from Mega Lopunny fairly easily. So that's why Crustle's here, and that's why the Rocky Helmet is here. Actually, yeah, and I have Shell Armor, not Sturdy, because there's, like, Necro doesn't really have anything on his team that's just going to, like, 1-hit KO me, that I would stay in on. I'm not going to switch Crustle into anything that I, can take or whatever, that I can't take. Tyranitar could, like, Oko me, and there's probably other things, like Noivern. But, like, I'm not going to stay in. I can't switch in because then I don't outspeed, and I won't stay in. I'll just switch into, my dedicated counters to things like that. So shell armor is just better to not be struck by a critical hit. That just ensures that every calc that I've done will stay that way, will be that, hey, you know, I can take a hit from this, I can take a hit from that. This also completely shuts down Toxicroak. Toxicroak, I mean, obviously doesn't even hit as hard as Megalopunny. Of course, that is assuming that it's a physical Toxicroak, because special Toxicroak is a thing. I'm really worried about Toxicroak because I don't really face them very often, and I know that they can do a lot of different things, so there could be a lot of different shenanigans that he decides to go for. And yeah, this is what I'm gonna try and do. Hazards can wear down his entire team really well, with the exception of Reuniclus because Magic Guard. Another reason that I want everything to be able to take it out. X-Scissor can 2-KO Reuniclus. Earthquake is the best other move to have. It can break a substitute for Megalopunny, as well as it hits things like Tyranitar, it hits back on Toxicroak, and can hit Kabutops. So that's good. So Earthquake is the best move for me to have other than Rock Stab. So there's that. For the rest of that, let's just go ahead in order. I don't think it matters. The rest. So the next one is going to be Lactu the Tornadus. This is going to be Choice Scarf Defiant. I'm going to make sure that I can Gen Defiant this week, just because of the off chance that Stoutland does get Intimidate. So, you know, it could come in handy. We'll see. This is going to be brought Max Attack Adamant with 156 speed EVs and 100 rest in HP. This outspeeds a Scarfed Toxicroak. So that's a Scarfed Jolly Toxicroak as well. Or Timid or whatever, speed increasing Scarfed Toxicroak. And Aerial Ace, I believe, is a guaranteed OHKO on it. I have U-Turn for Initiative, Superpower because his biggest offensive threats are weak to fighting. Megalopunny and Tyranitar are weak to fighting, as well as Kabutops and Stoutland. They're also weak to fighting, so he just has a decent fighting weakness that I think can be exploited. And yeah, and Knockoff. Knockoff is what allows Tornadus to 2-KO Reuniclus. I am a bit worried that, you know, if he figures out that I'm choiced, and I choice myself into something like Superpower, then he could bring in Reuniclus, and it could be not very fun. But we'll see what we can do about that. We will try our best to not let that happen. Tornadus, I think, while Reuniclus is around, might be limited to just U-turning out. I have other ways to hit Megalopunny and Tyranitar, so maybe it would not be the smartest for me to go for Superpower right off the bat. If Reuniclus does show up, because of the amount of dark coverage I do have on my team, he might not even bring it, but I can't not prepare for that thing, because I just don't have a switch in for it at all. So yeah, I mean, Tornadus is pretty self-explanatory. It also OHKOs Megalopunny, Superpower OHKOs like Tyranitar. I just do a lot of damage to his team with this. Noivern can actually take on this set pretty well, but I have switched into Noivern, so we will be okay. The next mon is, of course, going to be Don't Run With Me, the Scizor, which Scizor has not shown up for like 2 weeks, but it is finally making its return. This is a pretty semi-standard set. Max HP, Max Attack Adamant, the remaining 4 in defense, Life Orb Technician, Bullet Punch, Aerial Ace, Superpower Roost. Bullet Punch is a guaranteed OHKO on a max HP Florges. As long as it's not physically defensive, it cannot take a Bullet Punch. I do have to watch out for Hidden Power Fire. I don't know, one thing I do know about Necro, and that I don't really know how this affects things, is he doesn't gen, he breeds. So I don't know how many like random hidden powers he's going to have, or like speed creeps and things like that. Like, I don't know what all he's going to have. But HP Fire on Florges is semi-standard, so that's not out of the question for him to have one. So I really need to be careful for that, so I don't really want to just switch it in on that, but Bullet Punch does a decent chunk to most of his team. So if I get chip damage on a lot, or if hazards start wearing him down, Scizor's Bullet Punch could really come in clutch, clean up a lot of things. So Aerial Ace is, of course, hit the Toxicroak. Toxicroak doesn't get any sort of fire coverage or anything that does a lot of damage to Scizor, so Scizor can actually switch in on Toxicroak, and I can go for an Aerial Ace. I can go for Superpower, things like that, and then the Roost. This might end up being changed. I'm gonna have to see, because if this doesn't have a way to take out Reuniclus, then something might have to be changed. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I know I did have Bug Bite to be able to do that. However, Bug Bite hits literally nothing else on his team. So yeah, Superpower is there for the same reasons that Superpower is on my Tornadus. So that's good. And yeah, this is the Scizor set for now. If I do decide to change it, I will let you guys know in the battle, but I'm not sure what I would even change other than taking away Roost, which I'm not sure that I want to do. We will have to see. So let's go ahead on to my next Pokemon, which is going to be the Mega Blastoise. Kevin Steen, the Mega Blastoise, the MVP of last week's game, and our current team MVP, being the only thing that has a positive kill to death differential. I have a lot of ones that are even in kills and deaths, and a couple that are like negative. This is the only one that's positive. I'm bringing almost the same EV spread as last week. This is going to be max HP in the terms of the most that it needs, max defense with a quiet nature, 12 speed EVs with Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Earthquake, and Scald. So let me just explain the speeds and stuff really quick. This outspeeds a defensive Tyranitar, or like a max HP, max attack Tyranitar, something like that. It can outspeed that. Originally, I did just have Modest, and then I had like the 12 EVs and special attack. But then I kind of found that Toxicroak can switch into any regular Mega Blastoise set, because of Dry Skin. It can switch into a Scald, and it can also take the coverage moves such as Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, and anything like that. However, Mega Blastoise gets Earthquake, yay! Blastoise actually has probably some of the best move coverage like ever. So this is the first time that I'm going to break out a sort of mixed. It's not really mixed. It's 3 special attacks and a physical attack. But yeah, Earthquake hits Toxicroak pretty hard on the switch in, which could very likely switch in. Earthquake also does a decent chunk to Florges, because that's the other thing that can switch in. Even a Flash Cannon from Mega Blastoise does like 30% maybe, and Earthquake does like 4% less than that. So it kind of does the job for both of those things to get decent chip damage. You know, if there's a lot of hazards up and Florges has already taken chip damage, maybe it won't be able to take 2 Earthquakes. We'll just have to, you know, play the battle and just kind of see how that works. Florges also doesn't get a whole lot to Mega Blastoise back. It does get Energy Ball. Don't know how much that even does, but I probably wouldn't stay in anyway. I would switch in to my dedicated Florges counter, which is going to be Invisibly the Kecleon. It's getting to the middle part of the season. We start getting a little bit sneaky, a little bit creative with things. Also, hey, as far as the Reuniclus thing, Dark Pulse easily 2 KOs Reuniclus. But yeah, Invincible Kecleon. I'm so happy about this. This thing should be level 50. Did not check that. It's going to be Leftovers Protean, Iron Tail, Shadow Sneak, Knockoff, and Recover with max attack, 32 EVs and HP, 4 in SPDEF, and 220 speed EVs Jolly. This outspeeds defensive Florges, and Iron Tail is a good chance to OHKO, because he's not going to expect Iron Tail to show up or Kecleon to really switch in. I think when I switch in Kecleon on his Florges, he's probably going to be like, what? That doesn't really, you know, make a lot of sense. He might go for like a Wish to kind of scout out what I'm going to do. If I can hit an Iron Tail, that thing will be dead, and it'll be pretty great. Because I don't want to switch right into Scizor just in case it does have HP Fire. Kecleon is a really safe switch. Then I have Shadow Sneak and Knockoff. Knockoff, of course, can 2-8 KO Reuniclus. I decided to go with Shadow Sneak over something like Sucker Punch, just because Sucker Punch gives him a lot of opportunities to set up. He's got a lot of setup on a lot of his mons. And I don't really want to give him that chance. I don't want to have to play mind games of, oh, should I Sucker Punch? Oh, should I attack? I don't know. So Shadow Sneak is a nice middle, and then Recover for longevity on top of Leftovers, just because of this thing's natural bulk on the especially defensive side, could put in a lot of work. And that is, yeah, I actually had, my gosh, when I first made this team, I had like 4 mons with Knockoff. So I think it's good that only Kecleon and Tornadus have it, so that's good. I was just really happy to find Iron Tail Kecleon. I really hope this set works out. We'll have to see. Once Florges dies, Kecleon just becomes kind of switch-in fodder. as well as, you know, whatever. But we'll work with that as we get there. And then the final mon is going to be Akbar, the Gardevoir. Also being brought with leftovers. This is especially defensive, max HP, max special defense, 4 attack with the Calm Nature, Wish Protect, Heal Bell, Moonblast with Synchronize is the ability. Similar to last week, but not quite as annoying. Wish Gardevoir worked out so well. If I didn't have that, there was no way I was staying in that match. But Wish is really helpful for Mega Blastoise to stay up, because Mega Blastoise can kind of tear through his team. It can help Scizor stay at decent health, which, you know, on top of Roost is really good. That's the only thing that might make me reconsider having Roost on the Scizor, because I might not need it, and if I need to regain health, I might just switch past with Gardevoir. We'll have to see. That might be changed. And then to do Heal Bell, in case he Will-O-Wisp with something like Cofagrigus, or yeah, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. If he Will-O-Wisp, because I can't just OHKO a Cofagrigus. That's not something that can be done easily. So yeah, if I don't want status being all up with my team, then we'll do that. Moonblast is just a really good stab. Even uninvested Moonblast OHKOs Noivern, as well as just does like around half to most of his team, which is really great, especially if you're, you know, adding like hazard damage and stuff on top. It'll also be really good to Wish Pass into Crustle to just continue to get up, you know, spikes and hazards and just Rocky Helmet damage. I think this is what kind of holds the team together. So I think it's going to be really cool. I do really like this team. I'm glad that I'm bringing a lot of stuff that I haven't brought for either a couple weeks or at all. I think this team can work out really, really well. So we'll have to see how this goes. Can't wait for this battle. It's going to be very, very interesting, and we need to come away with a big win. We really need to come away with a big win. So I'm hoping to do that. Make sure you stay tuned to tomorrow. Stay tuned tomorrow for the battle. Will be uploaded. And yes, let's go ahead and do this. So thanks for watching. Till the battle, guys. Stay alive.